They say love is blind. But I say love is not blind, love is foolish. Love makes you ignore every red flag, every whisper of doubt, every warning that screams at you from the inside. My name is Jessica Harlington, yes, that Harlington, as in Harlington Industries, the billion-dollar empire that owns shopping malls, hospitals, hotels, and real estate across 4 countries. But 3 years ago, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I gave up my mansion, my designer clothes, my luxury cars, and my black credit card. I moved into a tiny 2-bedroom apartment on the east side of the city. I got a job as a waitress at a small diner. And I told no one, absolutely no one, who I really was. Why? Because I wanted something money could never buy. I wanted someone to love me, the real me, not my father's bank account. And I thought I found that person. His name was David. And for 3 years, I believed he was my soulmate. But what I didn't know, what I refused to see, was that David had a secret so dark, so twisted, so unforgivable, that when the truth finally came out, it didn't just break my heart, it shattered everything I believed about love, trust, and the goodness of people. This is my story. Jess, I still cannot believe that you have been living like this for 3 whole years. I mean, look at this apartment. The ceiling has a crack that looks like it's planning an escape route, the refrigerator sounds like it's running a marathon every night, and I'm pretty sure that stain on the carpet has been there since before we were born. You literally have a trust fund worth $400 million sitting in an account with your name on it, and you're here drinking instant coffee out of a chipped mug. Please explain to me again how this makes any sense, because I have been trying to understand for 3 years and I still can't wrap my head around it. Sarah, you know exactly why I did this. You were there when Marcus happened. You saw what that man did to me. We dated for 2 years, and I genuinely thought he loved me. I gave him everything, my heart, my trust, my time. And then one night, I accidentally overheard him on the phone with his friend, laughing about how he had hit the jackpot because his girlfriend was worth $500 million. He called me his golden ticket. He said, and I will never forget his exact words, "Why would I ever leave her? She's not even that pretty, but her daddy's money makes her a 10. That was the moment I realized that every kiss, every I love you, every romantic gesture, it was all a performance. He wasn't in love with me. He was in love with my father's empire. And I swore to myself, right there and then, that the next man who falls in love with me would fall in love with Jessica, just Jessica, not Jessica Harlington, the billionaire's daughter. And I completely understand that, Jess. I do. Marcus was a disgusting human being, and he deserved every bit of the heartbreak he felt when you dumped him and he realized he had lost his cash cow. But here's what I need you to hear, and I'm saying this as your best friend who has known you since we were 5 years old. Not every man is Marcus. You have been with David for 2 years, married for 1, and I've watched him closely. That man works double shifts at the construction site. He brings you flowers every Friday even though he can barely afford them, and last month when you were sick, he stayed up all night making you soup and checking your temperature every 2 hours. Maybe, just maybe, he actually loves you for real. Have you ever considered that? Of course I have considered it, Sarah. And honestly, most days I believe it. David makes me feel things I have never felt before. When he looks at me, I don't see dollar signs in his eyes. I see warmth. I see sincerity. I see a man who chose me when I had nothing, or at least, when he thought I had nothing. And that's exactly why I haven't told him the truth yet. Because the moment I tell him who I really am, everything changes. The dynamic shifts. The power balance tilts. And I will spend the rest of my life wondering, does he love me, or does he love what I'm worth? I'm not ready for that uncertainty. Not yet. Girl, I hear you. I really do. But you need to understand that secrets have an expiration date. You can't keep this hidden forever. Your father calls you every single day asking when you are going to come home. Your family lawyer, Mr. Thompson, sends you encrypted emails every week with updates about the company. And let's not forget that your face was on the cover of Forbes magazine 4 years ago under the headline "The Youngest Heiress in America." It is a miracle that David hasn't stumbled across that article yet. What happens when he does? What happens when he finds out that his wife, the woman he thinks is a simple waitress who struggles to pay rent, is actually worth more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes? Do you think he'll just shrug and say, "Oh, cool"? No, Jessica. He is going to feel betrayed. He's going to feel like you didn't trust him enough to tell him the truth. And honestly, he would be right to feel that way. I know, Sarah. I know. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I think I'm almost ready to tell him. I just need a little more time. I need to be completely sure, not 99% sure, but 100% certain, that this man loves me for who I am. And once I have that certainty, I will sit him down, I will tell him everything, and I will pray that he understands why I did what I did. But until that day comes, I need you to keep my secret. Promise me, Sarah. Promise me you won't say a word. I have kept your secret for 3 years, Jessica. I have lied to your husband's face more times than I can count. I have pretended to be just as broke as you when we go out together. I have driven my old Honda to your apartment instead of my Mercedes just so David doesn't get suspicious. You don't need to ask me to keep your secret, I've been doing it faithfully. But I will say this one last thing, and then I'll drop it. The longer you wait, the harder the truth becomes. Don't wait until it's too late.
Hey, beautiful. Something smells absolutely incredible in here. Let me guess, you made that pasta dish with the garlic bread that I love so much? You know, the one you made on our first anniversary? I remember that night like it was yesterday. We sat on the floor because we only had 2 chairs, and one of them had a broken leg, and we ate pasta out of the pot, because half our plates were chipped, and you looked at me and said, "David, we don't have much, but we have each other, and that's enough." That was the moment I knew I had married the right woman. You didn't care about fancy restaurants or expensive wine. You were happy just being with me, sitting on the floor, eating pasta. Not many women are like that, Jessica. And I thank God every single day that I found you.
David, come sit down. You've been working since 5 in the morning, and I can see the exhaustion all over your face. Your hands are calloused, your back is hurting, I can tell by the way you were walking, and you still came through that door with a smile on your face. Do you know how much that means to me? Most men would come home angry and frustrated after a 12-hour shift at a construction site, but not you. You come home and the first thing you do is compliment my cooking and remind me of our happiest memories. That's why I love you, David. That's why I chose you. Because you are good. Genuinely, deeply, authentically good.
Well, I don't know about all that, Jess. I'm just a regular guy trying to build a decent life for his wife. Speaking of which, I actually have some news. I talked to my supervisor today, and he said there might be a promotion coming up in a few months. It's a site manager position, and it comes with a significant raise. If I get it, we could finally move out of this apartment and into something bigger. Maybe a small house with a yard. Nothing fancy, but something that feels like a real home. I know you've never complained about this place, and that's one of the things I love most about you, but you deserve better than a cracked ceiling and a leaky faucet, Jessica. You deserve the world, and even if I can't give you the world, I want to at least give you a home that doesn't fall apart every time it rains.
David, listen to me. I need you to hear this and really let it sink into your heart. I don't care about the size of our apartment. I don't care if the ceiling has cracks or if the faucet leaks. I have lived in places that were much. I have always believed that a home is not about the walls around you, it's about the person standing beside you. And as long as that person is you, I could live in a cardboard box and still feel like the richest woman in the world. So please, don't put pressure on yourself to give me material things. Just keep being the man you are. That's all I've ever wanted.
You almost said something else just now, didn't you? You said I have lived in places that were much, and then you stopped yourself. What were you going to say, Jess? You know, sometimes I feel like there are parts of your life that you don't share with me. You never talk about your childhood. You never mention your parents. Every time I ask about your family, you change the subject or give me vague answers. I'm not trying to push you, and I respect your privacy, but we've been married for a year now. Don't you think it's time you let me in? All the way in?
You're right, David. And I promise you, I will tell you everything. Soon. There are things about my past that I haven't shared with you, not because I don't trust you, but because I needed time to figure out how to say it. It's complicated, and I want to make sure that when I do tell you, you understand my reasons for keeping it to myself for so long. Can you give me just a little more time? Please? I promise it will all make sense when I finally explain everything.
Of course, baby. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. You're my wife, my best friend, and the love of my life. Whatever your past is, it doesn't change who you are to me right now. Nothing could ever change that.
Well. Look at you, Jessica. Wearing that little apron, carrying plates of food for strangers, smelling like grease and cheap coffee. You know, every time I walk into this diner and see my son's wife working as a common waitress, it makes my stomach turn. I raised David to be somebody. I sacrificed everything for that boy, worked 3 jobs, went without meals so he could eat, stayed up all night helping him with his homework. And what does he do with all that sacrifice? He marries a woman with no family, no education, no money, and no ambition. A waitress, Jessica. My son married a waitress. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that is for me? Do you have any idea what my friends say behind my back? Good afternoon to you too, Margaret. I see you're in your usual charming mood. And for the record, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a waitress. It is honest work, it pays the bills, and I take pride in doing my job well. I may not be the wealthy, sophisticated daughter-in-law you dreamed of, but I love your son with every fiber of my being, and I treat him with respect, kindness, and devotion every single day. I would think that would matter more to a mother than the size of her daughter-in-law's paycheck, but clearly, I was wrong about that. Oh, don't you dare lecture me about what should matter to a mother. You don't know the first thing about being a mother, because you don't even have a family. Where are your parents, Jessica? Him? In the entire time you've been with my son, I have never met your mother, your father, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, nobody. You showed up to your own wedding with one friend, that Sarah girl, and that was it. No family on the bride's side. No one to walk you down the aisle. Don't you find that strange? Because I certainly do. It makes me wonder what you're hiding. It makes me wonder if maybe you're running from something, or someone. And let me tell you something, little girl, if I ever find out that you are keeping secrets that could hurt my son, I will make your life a living nightmare. That is not a threat. That is a promise. Margaret, I understand that you are protective of your son, and I respect that about you. Truly, I do. But let me be very clear about something. You do not get to walk into my workplace, disrespect me in front of my colleagues, and interrogate me about my personal life. My family situation is between me and David, and when I am ready to share that information, I will share it with him first, not with you. Now, I have been patient with you for a very long time. I have tolerated your snide comments, your backhanded insults, and your constant attempts to make me feel like I'm not good enough for your son. But my patience is not infinite, Margaret. So I am asking you, respectfully, to either order something from the menu or leave. Because I have work to do, and I refuse to spend my break being belittled by someone who judges people based on the size of their wallet rather than the size of their heart. You have quite the mouth on you for a waitress, don't you? Fine. I'll leave. But mark my words, Jessica, I am going to find out who you really are. I have already started asking around, and guess what? Nobody knows anything about you before 3 years ago. No social media history, no school records, no employment history. It's like you didn't exist before you showed up in this city. And that tells me one thing, you were hiding something big. And when I uncover it, and I will uncover it, whatever little fairy tale you've built with my son is going to come crashing down. Enjoy your shift, sweetheart.
Hey, who was that on the phone? You hung up pretty fast when I walked in. Is everything okay? You've been acting strange lately, Jess. You've been distracted, checking your phone constantly, and last night I woke up at 2 in the morning and you were sitting in the kitchen staring at your laptop screen with tears in your eyes. When I asked you what was wrong, you slammed the laptop shut and said it was nothing. But that didn't look like nothing to me, Jessica. That looked like something big. Something you're carrying all by yourself. And I hate that, because we're supposed to be a team. We're supposed to carry each other's burdens. So please, talk to me. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together.
It was just Sarah calling to check on me. You know how she is, she worries about everything. And as for last night, I was reading an article about something from my past, and it brought up some emotions that I wasn't prepared for. It's nothing you need to worry about, David. I promise. I'm fine. I just have a lot on my mind lately, but it has nothing to do with us. Our marriage is the one thing in my life that I am completely sure about. Please believe that.
I want to believe that, Jess. I really do. But lately, something feels off between us, and I can't put my finger on what it is. It's like there's this invisible wall between us that wasn't there before. And my mom isn't helping either. She called me today and went on a 30-minute rant about how she doesn't trust you, how she thinks you're hiding something, and how she's been doing some kind of investigation into your background. I told her to stop, but you know my mother. Once she gets an idea in her head, she's like a dog with a bone. She won't let go.
Your mother is investigating me? David, what exactly did she say? What kind of investigation? What has she found? This is serious. Your mother has no right to dig into my personal life without my consent. I understand that she's protective of you, but this crosses a very clear line. You need to talk to her and make her stop. Immediately. I am not a criminal. I am not hiding anything dangerous. I am your wife, and I deserve to be treated with basic respect and privacy.
Whoa, Jess, calm down. I've never seen you react like this before. You're literally shaking right now. If there's nothing to hide, then why are you so upset about my mom asking a few questions? I told her to back off, and I meant it, but your reaction right now is making me wonder if maybe she has a point. Is there something you're not telling me, Jessica? Because I would rather hear the hard truth from you right now than find out a lie later. I can handle the truth. What I can't handle is deception.
David, I am upset because your mother is treating me like a suspect in a crime. She came to my job today and humiliated me in front of my co-workers. She called me a common waitress. She questioned why I have no family. She practically accused me of being some kind of con artist. And now you're telling me she's running a background check on me? How would you feel if my family showed up and started investigating every corner of your life? You would feel violated. You would feel disrespected. And that's exactly how I feel right now. So no, David, I will not calm down. I have every right to be upset, and I need you to stand up for me. Not next time. Not eventually. Now.
You're right. You're absolutely right, and I'm sorry. I should have shut my mother down the moment she started talking like that. I'll call her tonight and make it crystal clear that if she can't treat my wife with respect, she won't be welcome in our home. You are my priority, Jessica. Not my mother's paranoia, not her opinions, not her approval. You. I married you, and I will protect you from anyone who tries to hurt you, even if that person is my own mother. Come here. Let me hold you. Everything is going to be okay. I promise.
Sarah, we have a problem. A very big, very serious problem. Margaret, David's mother, is investigating my background. She told David that she's been asking around about me, and she's noticed that there is no trace of me before 3 years ago. No social media, no school records, nothing. And she's right, Sarah, because when I started this whole experiment, my father's security team scrubbed my entire digital footprint. They erased everything, my old Instagram, my Facebook, my college records, press appearances, everything. At the time, I thought that was necessary to protect my identity. But now it's backfiring, because the absence of information is just as suspicious as the wrong information. Margaret thinks I'm hiding something sinister, and honestly, can I blame her? From her perspective, Her son married a woman who appeared out of thin air with no past, no family, and no explanation. If I were in her shoes, I'd be suspicious too. Okay, first of all, take a deep breath. You're spiraling, and when you spiral, you make impulsive decisions that you regret later. Second of all, let's think about this logically. Margaret is not a detective. She's a nosy mother-in-law with too much time on her hands. What's the worst she can find? Your old Forbes cover? That article was published 4 years ago under your full name, Jessica Elaine Harlington. David knows you as Jessica Cole, the fake last name you've been using. Unless Margaret somehow connects Jessica Cole to Jessica Harlington, which would require a level of investigative skill that I seriously doubt she possesses, your secret is safe. But, Jess, and I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so, this is exactly what I warned you about. The longer you keep this secret, the more dangerous it becomes. You need to tell David the truth. Not next month. Not next week. Now. Today. I know, Sarah. Believe me, I know. I have been composing and deleting a speech in my head for weeks. I've rehearsed it in the shower, in front of the mirror, on my drive to work. David, I need to tell you something. My real name is Jessica Harlington. My father is Richard Harlington, the founder and CEO of Harlington Industries. I am worth approximately $400 million in my own trust fund alone, and my family's net worth exceeds $6 billion. I have been pretending to be poor for the last 3 years, because I was tired of being loved for my money instead of being loved for who I am. I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm sorry I didn't trust you enough to tell you sooner. I've practiced that speech 1,000 times, Sarah. But every time I try to say it out loud, to his face, the words get stuck in my throat. Because I'm terrified. I'm terrified that the moment he knows the truth, something in his eyes will change. That spark of genuine love will be replaced by something else, or greed, or resentment. And I would rather live in this beautiful lie than risk losing the one person who has ever made me feel truly seen. Jessica, listen to me very carefully. I love you like a sister, and everything I'm about to say comes from a place of deep love and genuine concern. You are not living in a beautiful lie. You are living in a ticking time bomb. Every day that passes without David knowing the truth is another day that the explosion gets bigger. And when this bomb goes off, and it will go off, Jess, one way or another, the damage will be catastrophic. If David finds out the truth from you, he might be hurt, he might be confused, but he will eventually understand. But if he finds out from his mother, from a Google search, from some random person who recognizes you on the street, he will feel like the biggest fool on the planet. He will feel like his entire marriage was built on quicksand. And that kind of betrayal, Jess, that's the kind of betrayal that people don't come back from. So please, for the love of God, tell him. Tonight. Before someone else does. You're right. I'll tell him tonight. I'll cook his favorite dinner, I'll sit him down, and I'll tell him everything. No more hiding. No more lies. Tonight, David learns the truth about who I really am, and whatever happens after that, I'll deal with it. I just pray that his love for me is strong enough to survive this. Baby, when are you going to leave that boring little wife of yours? You've been saying soon for 6 months now, and I'm getting tired of being your secret. I deserve better than hotel rooms and sneaky phone calls and pretending I don't know you when we run into each other in public. I'm a beautiful woman, David. I have options. And frankly, I don't understand what you're still doing with her. She's a waitress who lives in a rundown apartment. What could she possibly offer you that I can't? I have my own condo, my own car, my own career. I can give you the life you deserve, a life of comfort and success. So tell me, David, what is it going to take for you to finally walk away from that pathetic excuse for a marriage?
Karen, baby, will you please relax and let me explain something to you? I know this situation isn't ideal, and I know you're frustrated, but there's a method to my madness, and if you'll just be patient a little longer, everything is going to work out in our favor. You see, Jessica is not as simple as she appears. I've been living with this woman for 2 years, married to her for 1. and something about her doesn't add up. She's too smart to be just a waitress. The way she talks, the way she carries herself, the vocabulary she uses, it doesn't match her background. And she has no family, no history, no paper trail. My mother has been looking into her, and she found absolutely nothing. Do you know what that means? It means someone deliberately erased her past. And the only people who have the resources to erase someone's digital footprint are people with serious money or serious connections. I think Jessica is hiding something big, and I have a feeling it involves money. A lot of money.
Wait. Are you telling me that the reason you haven't left your wife is because you think she might secretly be rich? David, that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. She lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with a cracked ceiling. She takes the bus to work. She clips coupons from the Sunday newspaper. She wears clothes from the clearance rack. That woman is not rich, David. She is the very definition of poor. And you are wasting your time, and my time, chasing a fantasy. Divorce her, take whatever little she has, and move on. With me.
See, that's where you and I are different, Karen. You see what's on the surface. I see what's underneath. And I'm telling you, something is not right about Jessica's story. Last week, I went through her phone while she was in the shower. Don't look at me like that. I had to, and I found a contact saved as Dad with a phone number that has an area code from Connecticut. Jessica told me both her parents were dead. So why does she have a contact labeled Dad in her phone? I called the number from a payphone the next day, and a man answered. A man with a voice that sounded like old money, polished, authoritative, the kind of voice you hear on CNN business segments. He said Harlington residence before I hung up. Karen, I went home and Googled Harlington, and do you know what came up? Harlington Industries. A $6 billion multinational corporation. And do you know who the CEO is? A man named Richard Harlington. And do you know what I found when I dug a little deeper? A 4-year-old Forbes article with a photo of his daughter, a daughter who looks exactly like my wife. Same eyes. Same smile. Same bone structure. Karen, I think my wife is Jessica Harlington. I think I accidentally married one of the richest women in America.
Oh my God. Oh my God, David. Are you serious right now? Are you telling me that your little mousy wife who serves pancakes at a diner is actually a billionaire heiress? This is insane. This is absolutely insane. But wait, if she's been pretending to be poor this whole time, that means she's been lying to you for your entire relationship. She doesn't trust you. She's been testing you. She's been sitting there in the cheap apartment watching you struggle, watching you work 12-hour shifts, watching you stress about money, and she could have solved all of your problems with a single phone call to Daddy. That's not love, David. That's manipulation. That's a woman who sees you as a lab rat in her little social experiment.
Oh, I know exactly what she's been doing, Karen. Trust me, I figured it out. She's one of those rich girls who wants to make sure a man loves her for her, not her money. Classic. Pathetic, but classic. And you know what? I have played my part perfectly. The devoted husband who works hard, brings flowers, says all the right things. And now that I know who she really is, the game changes entirely. I'm not going to confront her. No. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be even more loving, even more devoted, even more perfect. And when the time is right, when she finally reveals her secret to me, I'm going to act shocked and hurt, and then I'm going to forgive her because I am such a good man. And once I have access to that Harlington money, once my name is on the right accounts and the right documents, then I'll make my move. We'll make our move. Together.
David, you beautiful, twisted genius. I knew there was a reason I was attracted to you. So let me make sure I understand the plan. You're going to stay married to her, pretend to be the perfect husband, wait for her to reveal her billions, and then slowly position yourself to get as much of that money as possible. And when you've secured the bag, you leave her and come to me. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct, baby. The only change in the plan is that now I need to move faster, because my mother is sniffing around and she might blow the whole thing before I'm ready. I need to get my mother to back off, keep Jessica comfortable and unsuspecting, and start laying the groundwork for getting my name on her accounts. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, Karen. We're talking about billions. Not millions, billions. If I play this right, you and I will never have to work another day in our lives. All I need is a little more time, a lot more patience, and for you to keep your mouth shut. Can you do that for me, baby?
For billions of dollars? Honey, I can do anything. You just focus on being the world's most loving husband, and I'll be right here waiting for you. But David, don't catch real feelings for her. Remember who's been riding with you from the beginning. Remember who really loves you.
Karen, the only thing I feel for Jessica is gratitude that she's about to make us very, very rich. Now let me get home before she starts asking questions. I'll call you tomorrow.
Sarah, I didn't tell him. I chickened out. I cooked the dinner, I set the table, I even put on the dress I was wearing the night he proposed, and then he came home with flowers and a card that said to the woman who makes my life worth living, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't look into those eyes and drop a bomb that might destroy everything we've built. I know, you're going to say I'm being a coward, and you'd be right. But something else happened that night that made me hesitate even more. What happened? And yes, you are being a coward, but go on. After dinner, David went to take a shower, and his phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I normally don't check his phone. I've always believed that trust means not needing to spy on your partner, but the screen lit up and I saw a text message preview. It was from someone saved as Kevin from work. The message said, "I miss you already. Tonight was perfect. Same time Thursday." Sarah, David doesn't have a coworker named Kevin. I know all his coworkers because I've been to his company picnic twice. There is no Kevin. And what kind of coworker sends a text saying I miss you already and tonight was perfect? Something is wrong, Sarah. Something is very, very wrong. My gut is screaming at me, and I've been trying to ignore it, but I can't anymore. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Jessica, please tell me you're not saying what I think you're saying. You think David is cheating on you? That doesn't. I mean, are you sure you read the message correctly? Maybe it was a different David. Maybe it was a group text. Maybe Kevin is a new hire that you haven't met yet. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here because I genuinely believed he was one of the good ones. But that text message, "I miss you already. Tonight was perfect." Jess, that doesn't sound like a work conversation. That sounds like a conversation between two people who are romantically involved. What did you do after you saw the message? I did what any self-respecting woman would do when she suspects her husband of infidelity. I pretended I didn't see anything. I smiled when he came out of the shower, I kissed him goodnight, I waited for him to fall asleep, and then I lay there in the dark for 4 hours staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our relationship in my head, looking for signs I might have missed. And do you know what I found, Sarah? Red flags. Red flags that I had been too blinded by love to see. The late nights at work that started 3 months ago, he said they were mandatory overtime, but he never had extra money on his paycheck. The cologne he started wearing, not the one I bought him, a different one I've never seen in our bathroom. The way he guards his phone now, always keeping it face down on the table, taking it into the bathroom with him. How did I not see this before? How did I, a woman who was smart enough to build a fake identity and fool everyone around her, not see that my own husband was fooling me? Jessica, before you spiral into self-blame, let me say something. If David is cheating, and I'm saying if, because we don't have definitive proof yet, that is not your fault. That is a reflection of his character, not yours. You are not responsible for another person's decision to betray you. But here's what we're going to do. We're not going to confront him based on one text message. We need evidence. Concrete, undeniable, irrefutable evidence. And I know exactly how to get it. Your father has a private investigator on retainer, Detective Morris. He's the same man who ran background checks on all of your father's business partners. If David is hiding something, Detective Morris will find it. I think it's time you made that call, Jess. Not to your father, I know you're not ready for that conversation yet, but to Detective Morris directly. Let him do what he does best. Let him dig. And whatever he finds, we'll deal with it together. You and me, the way it's always been. You're right. No more guessing, no more wondering, no more lying awake at night torturing myself with possibilities. I want the truth. The whole truth. Even if it destroys me. I'll call Detective Morris today. David, sit down. I need to talk to you about something important, and I need you to actually listen to me for once instead of immediately jumping to your wife's defense like you always do. I have been doing some research on Jessica, and what I've found, or rather, what I haven't found, is extremely concerning. That woman has no past, David. No birth certificate that matches her name in any public database I could access, no high school or college records, no employment history before the diner, and no family records. It's as if she materialized out of thin air 3 years ago. Now, I've seen this kind of thing before in those true crime documentaries I watch. People who completely erase their identities are usually running from something: the law, debt, an abusive situation, or worse. I'm not trying to be cruel, David. I'm trying to protect you. Your wife could be anyone. She could be a wanted criminal. She could be a con artist. She could be someone else's wife. You just don't know, and that should terrify you.
Mom, I appreciate your concern. I really do. And you're right, Jessica's lack of a past is unusual. But I've been doing some investigating of my own, and I think the truth is actually much less sinister than what you're imagining. I think Jessica might come from a family that she's estranged from, a family with money and influence who helped her disappear. I'm not sure yet, but I've found some clues that point in that direction. However, I need you to stop your investigation immediately. I mean it, Mom. If Jessica finds out that you've been digging into her background, she's going to panic. She might run. And if she runs, I lose her forever. I can't let that happen. Not because I am blindly in love, but because I have a plan, and your interference could ruin everything.
A plan? What kind of plan? David, what are you talking about? I raised you to be honest and straightforward. What is this plan you're referring to? And why do you look like the cat that swallowed the canary? You were smiling that smile you used to make when you were a little boy who had done something sneaky and was trying to hide it. Tell me what's going on. Now.
Mom, I'm going to tell you something, and you need to promise me, that you will not breathe a word of this to anyone. Not your friends, not your hairdresser, not your prayer group, nobody. Can you do that?
For heaven's sake, David, just spit it out. You're making me nervous.
I think Jessica is the daughter of Richard Harlington. The Richard Harlington. Harlington Industries. $6 billion. Forbes list. Private jets and penthouse suites. I found her father's phone number in her phone. I called it, and someone answered Harlington residence. I did more research and found a photo of Harlington's daughter from a Forbes article. She looks exactly like Jessica. Mom, if I'm right, and I'm 99% sure that I am, then I didn't marry a poor waitress. I married one of the richest women in America, and she's been pretending to be broke this entire time. Now do you understand why I need you to back off? If she gets scared and leaves before I can position myself properly, we lose access to a fortune that could change our family's legacy forever.
Oh, David. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Richard Harlington? The man who was on the cover of Time magazine last year? The man who donated $200 million to build that children's hospital downtown? You're telling me that your wife is his daughter? I need to sit down. I'm already sitting. I need to lie down. David, if this is true, if this is actually true, then we need to be very, very careful about how we handle this. You're right. I'll stop my investigation. I'll even be nice to her. I'll apologize for the things I've said. I'll invite her over for dinner. I'll make her feel welcome, loved, accepted. Because if playing nice means getting access to the Harlington fortune, I will be the most loving mother-in-law this world has ever seen. David, this could change everything for us. Everything. No more struggling, no more pinching pennies, no more worrying about bills. We could have the life we always deserved.
Exactly, Mom. And all we have to do is be patient, be smart, and wait for Jessica to trust me enough to reveal her secret. Once she does, I'll play the loving, supportive, understanding husband. And then, Slowly but surely, I'll work my way into the family, into the business, into the money. It might take months. It might take a year. But the payoff will be worth the wait. Just follow my lead, and for the love of God, Mom, keep your mouth shut.
David, I birthed you, I raised you, and I made you the man you are today. You didn't get your intelligence from your father, God rest his useless soul. You got it from me. And you have my word, I will play my part perfectly. That girl is going to think I'm the best mother-in-law in the world. Now, tell me more about this current situation. Because if you're planning to leave Jessica after you get the money, you need to make sure there are no loose ends. No evidence of infidelity, no angry mistress who could blow everything up. Is Karen under control?
Karen is completely under control, Mom. She knows the plan, she's on board, and she's willing to wait. Once this is all over, Karen and I will finally be together, and we'll be together with more money than we could ever spend. This is our moment, Mom. Let's not waste it. Miss Harlington, forgive me, Miss Cole, thank you for agreeing to meet me here instead of at my office. I understand the need for discretion, given your situation. I've completed the investigation you requested, and I must tell you up front, the findings are not pleasant. In fact, in my 20 years of private investigation work, this is one of the most calculated cases of deception I have ever encountered. I want you to be prepared, because what I'm about to show you is going to challenge everything you believe about your husband and your marriage. Do you want to proceed?
Detective Morris, I have spent the last 2 weeks barely sleeping, barely eating, and barely functioning because of the uncertainty. Not knowing the truth is worse than knowing a painful truth. Whatever you've found, I need to hear it. I need to see it. And I need to understand exactly what I'm dealing with so I can make informed decisions about my future. Please. Don't sugarcoat anything. Don't try to protect my feelings. Just give me the facts.
Very well. Let me start with the most significant finding. Your husband, David Mitchell, has been engaged in an extramarital affair for approximately 8 months with a woman named Karen Daniels. Miss Daniels is 27 years old, works as a real estate agent, and resides in a condominium on the west side of the city. I have photographic evidence of their meetings, hotel rooms, restaurants, her apartment. I have recordings of their phone conversations, which were obtained through legal surveillance methods. And I have text message transcripts that paint a very clear picture of the nature of their relationship. This is not a casual fling, Miss Cole. This is a deliberate, ongoing, deeply involved affair.
8 months. He's been cheating on me for 8 months. We've only been married for 14 months. That means for more than half of our marriage, he has been sleeping with another woman. I need a moment. No, actually, I don't need a moment. I need the rest of the information. You said there was more. What else did you find?
This is where it gets significantly worse, Miss Cole, and I'm deeply sorry to be the one to tell you this. During the course of my surveillance, I recorded a conversation between David and Miss Daniels that took place in a hotel room 6 days ago. In that conversation, and I have the full audio recording here for you to listen to at your discretion, David revealed that he has discovered your true identity. He knows you are Jessica Harlington. He knows about your father, he knows about Harlington Industries, and he knows about your approximate net worth. Furthermore, he explicitly stated his intention to remain in the marriage for the sole purpose of gaining access to your family's wealth. He described his plan to act as the perfect husband until you reveal your secret voluntarily, and then to systematically position himself to access your financial accounts and assets. He also stated that once he has secured sufficient financial gain, he intends to leave you for Miss Daniels. And Miss Cole, there's one more thing, his mother, Margaret Mitchell, is fully aware of and complicit in this plan. She has agreed to change her behavior toward you, to become warm and welcoming, as part of the strategy to keep you comfortable and unsuspecting.
He knows. He's known this whole time. And everything, the flowers, the love notes, the midnight soup when I was sick, the promotion excitement, the "you're all I need" speeches, it was all a performance. Every word, every kiss, every "I love you." It was all calculated. It was all part of a plan to steal my money. I thought I had found the one person in this world who loved me without conditions. I gave up my entire life for that belief. I lived in this tiny apartment, I served strangers food for minimum wage, I clipped coupons and took the bus and wore clothes that weren't even my style, all because I wanted to prove that love could exist without wealth. And this entire time, the man I trusted with my heart was plotting to rob me blind. Detective Morris, do you know what the cruelest part of this whole thing is? If he had just loved me, genuinely, truly loved me, I would have given him the world. I would have shared every penny willingly, joyfully, gratefully. He didn't need to scheme or manipulate. He just needed to be real. And he couldn't even do that.
Miss Cole, I know this is devastating, and I wish I had better news to deliver. But I want you to know something, you are not a fool. You are a woman who dared to believe in the goodness of people, and that takes courage. What David has done is a reflection of his character, not yours. Now, with your permission, I would like to recommend next steps. First, I strongly advise you to contact Mr. Thompson, your family attorney, immediately. Given what David knows about your identity, there is a real risk that he could take legal action to position himself favorably in a divorce, including claims to marital assets. You need to protect yourself legally before he makes his move. Second, I would advise against confronting David directly until your legal protections are in place. Let him continue to believe that his plan is working. The element of surprise is your greatest advantage right now. Third, and this is a personal recommendation, not a professional one, I think it's time to call your father. You've been fighting this battle alone for too long. It's time to let the people who truly love you stand beside you.
You're right, Detective Morris. About all of it. I've been so focused on protecting my secret that I forgot to protect myself. But that ends today. I'm done being naive. I'm done being the trusting, sweet, forgiving Jessica who sees the best in everyone. That Jessica got played. The Jessica who walks out of this apartment today is going to be different. She's going to be strategic. She's going to be ruthless. And she is going to make David Mitchell wish he had never heard the name Harlington. Please send all evidence, every photo, every recording, every transcript, to Mr. Thompson's office by end of day. And Detective Morris, thank you. Not just for the investigation, but for being honest with me. Honesty has been in very short supply in my life lately, and I appreciate yours more than you know. He knows, Sarah. David knows who I am. He's known for weeks. And he's been using that knowledge to plan how to steal my money. Every loving word, every tender gesture, every time he held me in his arms and told me I was enough, it was all an act. A carefully rehearsed, disgustingly convincing act. And there is more, he has a girlfriend. Her name is Karen. They've been together for 8 months. 8 months, Sarah. He's been splitting his time between me and her, coming home to me smelling like another woman's perfume, lying to my face about overtime shifts while he was lying in another woman's bed. And his mother, that evil, conniving woman, she knows about everything. The affair, the plan, all of it. She's going to start being nice to me, Sarah. She's going to pretend to be the loving mother-in-law because David told her to play the part. This whole family is a nest of vipers, and I walked right into it with my eyes wide open and my heart completely exposed. Jessica, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I feel responsible for this in some way, because there were moments, small moments, when something about David felt off to me, and I chose to ignore them because you were happy, and I didn't want to ruin that happiness. The way he always asked questions about your life before you moved here. The way his eyes would linger a little too long on expensive things in store windows, as if he was imagining owning them. The way he would say things like one day, our luck is going to change with this strange confidence, as if he knew something we didn't. I should have said something. I should have pushed harder. Instead, I told you to give him a chance, and that advice led you straight into the arms of a con man. I will never forgive myself for that. No, Sarah. You do not get to blame yourself for this. You did nothing wrong. You were supportive, you were protective, and you warned me repeatedly to tell the truth before it was too late. I'm the one who chose to keep living in a fantasy. I'm the one who chose love over logic. But I'm done now. I'm done crying, I'm done hurting, and I'm done being David Mitchell's puppet. It's time to make a phone call I should have made a long time ago. Are you calling who I think you're calling? Yes. I'm calling my father. I'm calling Richard Harlington. And when I'm done with that call, David is going to learn a very important lesson. You don't try to calm a Harlington. Because a Harlington doesn't just fight back. A Harlington destroys.
Jessica Elaine Harlington. My baby girl. Do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for this moment? 3 years, 4 months, and 17 days. That's how long it's been since you looked me in the eye and told me you were leaving the family estate to find yourself. 3 years of sleepless nights, of checking my phone every 5 minutes hoping for a call, of sending your security detail to quietly watch over you from a distance, because even though you asked me to let you go, I could never truly let you go. You are my daughter, my only child, the greatest thing I have ever created, and I include a $6 billion company in that statement. And now you call me, and you're crying, and you tell me a man has broken your heart. Jessica, do you understand what that does to a father? Do you understand the restraint it is taking me right now to not find this David person and end him? Come here. Let me hold you. Let your dad hold you.
Daddy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for leaving, for worrying you, for shutting you out. I thought I was being strong and independent by doing this on my own. I thought I was proving something, to the world, to myself, to the memory of every person who ever pretended to love me for your money. But all I proved is that I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I fell for the exact same trap I was trying to avoid. David doesn't love me, Dad. He's been using me. He found out who I am, and instead of confronting me about the lie, he decided to exploit it. He has a girlfriend, a plan to access our family's money, and a mother who's helping him execute the whole scheme. I've never felt so stupid, so humiliated, so utterly foolish in my entire life.
Jessica, look at me. Look at your father's face. You are not stupid. You are not foolish. You are a young woman who wanted to be loved for who she is, and there is nothing naive or foolish about that desire. It is the most human, most beautiful, most noble thing a person can want. The fact that you were willing to give up everything, your comfort, your wealth, your lifestyle, in pursuit of genuine love. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you the bravest person I know. What happened to you is not a reflection of your intelligence. It is a reflection of David's depravity. And now, my darling daughter, it's time to show this man what happens when you try to deceive a Harlington. I've already spoken with Mr. Thompson. He's been working around the clock since you called me, and I want you to know that every legal protection is being put in place as we speak. Your trust fund is secure, your assets are untouchable, and the prenuptial agreement that David signed, without bothering to read the fine print, by the way, contains clauses that would make a law professor weep with admiration. He's going to walk away from this marriage with nothing. Less than nothing. And that girlfriend of his, Karen, my team has already started looking into her. If she's been complicit in this scheme, she will face consequences too. Nobody tries to steal from my family, Jessica. Nobody.
Dad, I don't want revenge. I mean, okay, maybe I do want a little revenge. But more than revenge, I want closure. I want to look David in the eye and let him know that I know everything. I want to see his face when he realizes that the poor little waitress he was manipulating is actually the woman who holds all the power. I want him to understand that he had something real, something precious, something that money genuinely cannot buy, my love, and he threw it away for greed. And I want him to live the rest of his life knowing what he lost. That, to me, is the ultimate revenge.
And you will have that moment, my dear. I promise you. But we're going to do this properly, strategically, and with the full weight of the Harlington name behind you. Here's what I propose, and you don't have to agree if it feels too dramatic, but I think you'll like it. In 2 weeks, we're going to throw a dinner party. Not just any dinner party, a Harlington dinner party. I'm going to rent out the grand ballroom at the Harlington Hotel downtown. I'm going to invite every important person in this city, the mayor, business leaders, socialites, press. And you, my darling daughter, are going to walk into that ballroom on my arm, wearing a gown that costs more than David's annual salary, dripping in diamonds, and you are going to be formally reintroduced to society as Jessica Elaine Harlington, heiress to the Harlington Empire. And David? He's going to be there. He's going to watch. And he's going to realize, in front of every person who matters in this city, that the woman he tried to con is the most powerful woman in the room. How does that sound?
That sounds absolutely perfect, Daddy. Let's do it.
Jessica, welcome back. It's been far too long. I have to say, when your father called me and told me what had happened, I was furious. Not just professionally, personally. I've known you since you were born. I drew up your trust fund documents when you were 6 months old. I'm the one who hid that Forbes article from search engines when you decided to go undercover. And I've spent the last 3 years quietly managing your assets from behind the scenes, making sure everything was exactly where it needed to be for the day you came back. And now, to hear that some construction worker thought he could outsmart the legal infrastructure I've spent decades building around your family's wealth, frankly, it's insulting. But let me assure you, Jessica, David Mitchell made the worst decision of his life when he decided to target you.
Mr. Thompson, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years, and I'm sorry for the complications my little experiment has caused you. But I need to know where I stand legally. David and I are married. In the eyes of the law, does he have any claim to my assets? My trust fund? My inheritance? What kind of damage can he do, and how do we prevent it?
Excellent question, and the answer is going to put your mind at ease. When you insisted on getting married under your alias, Jessica Cole, I was concerned. But I took precautions. The prenuptial agreement that David signed, which, as your father mentioned, he barely glanced at before signing, contains several ironclad clauses that protect your assets absolutely. First, all assets owned prior to the marriage remain the sole property of the original owner. Your trust fund, valued at $412 million as of last quarter, was established 27 years before your marriage. It is untouchable. Second, the agreement includes a fidelity clause. If either party engages in infidelity during the marriage, the unfaithful party forfeits all claims to marital assets and agrees to a no-contest divorce with zero alimony. Thanks to Detective Morris's investigation, we have irrefutable evidence of David's affair. He violated the fidelity clause, which means he gets nothing. Third, and this is the clause I'm most proud of, the agreement contains a deception clause. If either party is found to have entered the marriage under false pretenses or with the intent to commit financial fraud, the deceiving party may be held liable for damages. David's recorded conversations, in which he explicitly states his plan to marry you for money, constitute clear evidence of fraudulent intent. Jessica, not only will David walk away with nothing, if we choose to pursue it, we could file a civil lawsuit against him for attempted financial fraud. He could owe you money. He could face criminal charges. This man thought he was playing chess, but he was playing checkers against a grandmaster.
Mr. Thompson, you have no idea how relieved I am to hear this. For the past 2 weeks, I've been terrified that David might somehow use our marriage to steal from me or from my father. Knowing that the law is on my side, knowing that every move he's made has only dug his hole deeper, gives me a sense of peace I haven't felt in a very long time. Now, my father wants to do this grand reveal at a dinner party in 2 weeks. I want to make sure that everything is legally prepared before that happens. The divorce papers, the evidence presentation, everything. When David walks into the ballroom, I want every trap already set. I want every exit blocked. I want him to realize, in real time, that he is standing in the middle of a cage he built for himself. Can we make that happen?
Miss Harlington, I've been your family's attorney for 35 years. Making the impossible happen is literally what you pay me for. Consider it done. David Mitchell's downfall will be legally airtight, emotionally devastating, and absolutely spectacular. Now, let's go over the details.
Hey, babe. Wow, something seems different about you today. You look, I don't know, lighter? Happier? Did something good happen at work? Also, I noticed you've been cleaning and organizing like crazy this week. Are we expecting company? Oh, and my mom called. She wants to have us over for dinner this weekend. She said she wants to apologize for how she's treated you and start fresh. Can you believe it? My mom, apologizing? I think she's finally coming around. She even said she's going to bake your favorite cake. Isn't that great?
That is great, David. Your mom wanting to apologize is so kind of her. I'd love to have dinner with her this weekend. In fact, how about we do something even better? I actually have a surprise for you. I received an invitation to a very exclusive dinner event tomorrow night at the Harlington Hotel downtown. A friend of a friend connected me, and apparently, it's going to be a huge affair. Important people, live music, incredible food. I know it's not really our usual scene, but I thought it might be fun for us to dress up and pretend to be fancy people for a night. What do you say? Will you be my date?
The Harlington Hotel? That place is like 5 stars, Jess. How did you get an invitation to an event there? Those things cost thousands of dollars to attend. I mean, not that I'm complaining, it sounds amazing. I'm curious. Who's this friend of a friend?
Oh, it's a long story. Sarah knows someone who knows someone. You know how it is. The point is, we have 2 tickets, and I already picked up a dress from a thrift store that looks like it could be designer. And I know you have the nice suit from our wedding. It still fits, right? Come on, David. When was the last time we did something spontaneous and exciting? Let's live a little. Let's pretend we're millionaires for one night.
Pretend to be millionaires. Yeah. Sure. That sounds fun. Okay, let's do it. Tomorrow night. The Harlington Hotel. I'm in.
Perfect. It's going to be a night you'll never forget, David. I can promise you that.
Jessica, this place is incredible. Look at the chandeliers. Each one of those probably costs more than our apartment. And the people here, do you see that man over there? I think that's the mayor. And that woman in the red dress? She was on the news last week. She runs the biggest charity foundation in the state. Jess, how did Sarah get us into this? We are way out of our league here. I feel like security is going to tap me on the shoulder any minute and escort us out.
Relax, David. We have every right to be here. In fact, I'd say we have more right to be here than most people in this room. But I need to step away for a moment. I have to go to the ladies' room to freshen up. Can you get us some drinks from the bar? I'll be right back. And David, when I come back, things might look a little different. Just keep an open mind, okay?
Keep an open mind? What do you mean by that? Jess? Jessica? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Richard Harlington, and for those of you who know me, you know that I don't throw parties very often. When I do, it's because something extraordinary is happening. Tonight, I have the immense privilege of reintroducing someone very special to all of you. Someone who has been away for 3 years on what I'll call a personal journey of discovery. She is my greatest joy, my proudest achievement, and the future of the Harlington Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming home my daughter, Jessica Elaine Harlington.
Hello, David. You look like you've seen a ghost. Or maybe you look like a man who just realized that the poor little waitress he's been manipulating for the past year is actually worth more than everyone in this room combined. Which one is it? Cat got your tongue? That's strange, you always have so much to say. You're all I need, Jessica. I don't care about money, Jessica. Our love is enough, Jessica. Remember those lines? I do. I remember every single one. I also remember some other lines you've said recently, lines you didn't think I'd ever hear. Would you like me to refresh your memory, or would you prefer to hear them in the recording?
Jessica. What is happening right now? You're Richard Harlington's daughter? This whole time? You've been lying to me this entire time? You let me struggle, you let me work double shifts, you let me worry about paying rent while you had millions sitting in a bank account? And you're standing here acting like I'm the villain? You lied to me, Jessica. You deceived me. I am your husband, and you kept the biggest secret of your life from me for 3 years. How dare you stand there looking at me like I'm the bad guy when you're the one who built this entire marriage on a lie?
Oh, David. I was really hoping you would go in a different direction with this, but I can't say I'm surprised. You're right, I did lie to you. I hid my identity because I wanted to find someone who would love me for who I am, not for what I'm worth. And for a while, I genuinely believed you were that person. But here's the difference between my lie and yours, David. My lie was born out of hope. Yours was born out of greed. I pretended to be poor because I wanted to find true love. You pretended to love me because you wanted to find money. And before you stand there and play the victim, let me introduce you to some evidence that will make it very difficult for you to maintain that innocent expression on your face.
Where did you? How did you? That's not. You recorded me? You had someone spy on me?
I had a private investigator follow you for 2 weeks, David. I know about Karen. I know about the hotel rooms. I know about every lie you told me about overtime shifts while you were lying in her bed. I know about the plan you and your mother devised to drain my family's accounts. I know everything. And now, so does my father, my lawyer, and very soon, everyone who matters in this city. You wanted to play a game with the Harlington, David? Congratulations. You lost. Mr. Thompson has already filed the divorce papers. They'll be served to you by morning. And per the prenuptial agreement that you signed without reading, the one with the fidelity clause and the fraud clause, you are entitled to absolutely nothing. No alimony, no assets, no settlement. Nothing. You came into this marriage with nothing, and you will leave it with nothing. Actually, that's not entirely accurate. You'll leave it with less than nothing, because we are also filing a civil lawsuit against you for attempted financial fraud. My lawyer estimates the damages at approximately $2 million. So not only are you losing a billionaire wife, David, you're going to owe her money. How's that for a plot twist?
Jessica, please. Please, just stop and listen to me for 1 minute. I know what that recording sounds like, and I know how bad this looks, but you have to understand, I was confused, I was overwhelmed, and Karen was manipulating me. She put ideas in my head. She told me you were using me, that your whole pretending to be poor thing was a way to control me and make me feel inferior. She twisted everything, and I was stupid enough to listen to her. But Jessica, underneath all the confusion and the bad decisions, I do love you. I have always loved you. The man on that recording isn't who I really am. That man was performing for Karen, saying what she wanted to hear so she wouldn't cause problems. The real David, your David, is the one who stayed up all night when you were sick. The one who saved up for 3 months to buy you that necklace for your birthday. The one who cried at our wedding because he couldn't believe someone as wonderful as you chose to spend her life with him. That's the real me, Jess. Please. Please don't throw away everything we had because of a mistake. I'm begging you.
David, I want you to look at me very carefully, because I am going to say this once, and I am never going to say it again. What you did was not a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. A mistake is leaving the stove on. What you did was a calculated, premeditated, months-long campaign to deceive, manipulate, and financially exploit the woman you swore before God to love and cherish. You didn't just cheat on me, you planned to rob me. You sat with your mother and strategized how to steal from my family. You told your girlfriend, David, that the only thing you felt for me was gratitude that I was about to make you rich. Those are your words, not mine. They came out of your mouth, in your voice, in a moment when you thought no one was listening. And that, David, is the real you. Not the man who brought flowers and made soup. That man was a character you played. A role you performed. And honestly, the performance was Oscar-worthy. You almost had me. You almost had me believing that love could be real, that someone could see past the money and love me. But you proved what I was afraid of all along. Nobody wants Jessica. They want the Harlington name and the Harlington money. And you know what the saddest part is? If you had just been real with me. If you had just been the honest, hardworking, kind man I thought you were. I would have shared everything with you willingly. I would have given you the world, David. Not because you asked for it, but because you deserved it. But you will never know what that feels like now. Because you chose greed over love. And that's a choice you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life.
Jessica, please. I'll do anything. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll give up everything. Just give me one more chance. One more chance to prove that I can be the man you thought I was. Please, Jessica. Don't leave me. I can't lose you.
You didn't lose me tonight, David. You lost me the moment you decided I was worth more as a bank account than as a human being. Goodbye. My lawyer will be in touch.
Karen, we're done. It's over. She knows everything. She had a private investigator following us for weeks. She has recordings of our conversations, photos of us together, text messages, everything. And last night, she stood in front of 300 people at a gala thrown by her billionaire father and publicly humiliated me. She played our recorded conversation for people to hear. Karen. Important people. People who could have been my contacts, my connections, my ticket to a better life. And now they all know me as the man who tried to con a Harlington heiress. My name is destroyed. My reputation is finished. And on top of all that, they're suing me for $2 million in damages for attempted financial fraud. $2 million. Karen. I don't have 2 million cents, let alone $2 million. My life is over. And it's all because of your stupid plan.
My stupid plan? Excuse me? You came to me, David. You told me about your suspicions about Jessica's identity. You devised the plan to stay married and drain her accounts. I was just along for the ride, baby. And don't you dare try to pin this on me, because I am not the one who got caught. You got caught. You were careless. You left evidence everywhere like a trail of breadcrumbs. And now you are showing up in my apartment, bringing your problems to my doorstep. No, David. No. I am not going down with your sinking ship. In fact, I think it's best if we end things right here, right now. I didn't sign up for lawsuits and public humiliation. I signed up for luxury and wealth, and clearly, that ship has sailed. So take your sob story, walk out that door, and don't ever contact me again. I have a reputation to protect.
Are you serious right now? After everything I sacrificed for us? I stayed in a fake marriage for months for our future. I pretended to love a woman I didn't love for our plan. I risked everything, my integrity, my freedom, my future, because you told me it would be worth it. And now, when everything falls apart, you're just going to walk away? You're going to abandon me like I'm yesterday's garbage? Karen, I gave up a woman who actually loved me for you. I gave up a chance at a genuine, loving marriage because you convinced me that money was more important than love. And now I have neither. No love, no money, no wife, no future. I have nothing. And you're standing there telling me to leave? After everything?
David, let me be very clear with you, because apparently, you're having trouble understanding the situation. I never loved you. I loved what you represented, access, opportunity, a shortcut to the life I wanted. Just like you never loved Jessica. You loved what she represented, money, status, security. We are the same, David. Two selfish people who tried to use other people to get what we wanted. The only difference between us is that I'm smart enough to walk away when the game is lost. You should have been smart enough to never play the game in the first place. Now get out of my apartment. And for the record, if Jessica's lawyers come asking me questions, I'm going to cooperate fully and tell them everything I know, including the fact that the entire scheme was your idea. Self-preservation, baby. It's nothing personal.
You would really do that? You would throw me under the bus to save yourself?
In a heartbeat. Goodbye, David.
Mom, it's all over. Jessica knows everything. She knows about Karen, about our plan, about your involvement, everything. She had us investigated. She has recordings, photos, proof of every conversation we've ever had about her money. And last night, her father, Richard Harlington, threw a gala where Jessica revealed her true identity to 300 of the most powerful people in the city, and I was standing there like an idiot holding 2 glasses of champagne while my world collapsed around me. They're divorcing me, they're suing me for $2 million, and Karen just dumped me and said she'd testify against me to save herself. Mom, I have nothing. Nothing. I threw away a good woman, a woman who genuinely loved me, for a scheme that was always destined to fail. And now I'm going to spend the rest of my life paying for it. Literally.
David Anthony Mitchell, I want you to listen to me very carefully. I am your mother, and I will always love you, but I need to say something that I should have said a long time ago, and I'm ashamed that I didn't. We were wrong. Not just wrong, we were evil. That girl, Jessica, she came into your life with nothing but love in her heart. She didn't need your money because she had more than we could ever imagine. She didn't need your status because her last name opens doors we didn't even know existed. She chose you, David. Out of all the wealthy, educated, powerful men she could have had, she chose you, a construction worker with a cracked apartment and a mean mother-in-law. She chose you because she saw something good in you. Something real. Something worth loving. And what did we do? We saw her as a paycheck. We looked at a woman made of gold and tried to melt her down for cash. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of what I taught you. And I'm ashamed of the mother I've been, not just to you, but to her. The things I said to that girl at her workplace. The way I treated her. She didn't deserve any of it. And neither does she deserve what we tried to do to her. David, I know it's too late to fix this. I know the damage is done. But if there's even a 1% chance that Jessica might listen, I think you should write her a letter. Not asking for forgiveness, you don't deserve that. Just apologizing. Telling her that you know what you did was wrong. Acknowledging that she deserved better. Because at the very least, she deserves to know that someone in this family, even if it's too late, recognized her worth.
She'll never read it, Mom. She'll never read it, because she has a team of lawyers and bodyguards between me and her now. I can't even get within 100 feet of her. But you're right about one thing, she deserved better. She deserved so much better than me. And that is something I am going to have to carry with me for the rest of my life. The knowledge that the best thing that ever happened to me was right there in front of me, and I was too blind, too greedy, and too stupid to appreciate it.
Oh, my sweet girl. Look at you, sitting in this big beautiful room with those sad eyes. I've known you since you were 3 days old, Jessica. I changed your diapers, I sang you lullabies, I held your hand on your first day of school, and I dried your tears when that horrible boy in 5th grade said your hair was ugly. And in all those years, through all those moments, I have never seen you look as heartbroken as you look right now. But I have also never seen you look as strong. There is a fire in your eyes that wasn't there before, a fire that tells me this experience didn't destroy you. It forged you. Like steel in a furnace. You went in soft and came out unbreakable. Linda, can I tell you something? Something I haven't said out loud to anyone yet. Despite everything David did to me, the lies, the cheating, the manipulation, there are moments, late at night when the house is quiet and I'm lying in bed staring at the ceiling, when I miss him. Not the real him, because I know now that the real David was selfish and deceitful. I miss the version of him that I fell in love with. The man who danced with me in the kitchen to no music. The man who wrote me a love letter on our 6-month anniversary using a crayon, because we couldn't afford a nice pen. I know that man wasn't real. I know he was a performance. But the feelings I had for that performance? Those were real. My love was real. My devotion was real. And mourning the loss of something that was never actually there is the strangest, most painful kind of grief I have ever experienced. Of course you miss him, sweetheart. Or rather, you miss the idea of him. You miss the possibility of what could have been if he had been honest. And that's perfectly normal. Grief doesn't follow rules, and it doesn't make logical sense. You can know in your mind that someone was bad for you and still feel the ache of their absence in your heart. But here's what I want you to remember, you didn't lose love. You lost an illusion. Real love is still out there, waiting for you. And when it finds you, and it will find you, Jessica, it won't come with hidden agendas and secret girlfriends. It will come with honesty, with transparency, and with a man who is brave enough to love you knowing exactly who you are, and humble enough to not be intimidated by it. You just have to be patient. And in the meantime, you have a family that adores you, a legacy that needs your leadership, and a future so bright it would blind anyone who tries to dim your light. David Mitchell tried to dim your light, Jessica. But look at you, you're still shining. Linda, you always know exactly what to say. Thank you for being the mother I needed when my own mother wasn't here. Thank you for raising me with love, with values, with the belief that I am worth more than my last name. You're right, David didn't destroy me. He revealed me. He showed me that I'm stronger than I thought, braver than I believed, and more resilient than I imagined. And while I may not know what the future holds, I know one thing for certain: I will never again dim my own light to make someone else comfortable. I am Jessica Elaine Harlington. And from this day forward, I'm going to live like it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but I noticed you're standing by the window looking at the city lights with the most peaceful expression I've ever seen on another human being, and I just had to come over and ask, what are you thinking about? Because whatever it is seems to have brought you genuine happiness, and genuine happiness is such a thing at these events. Most people here are performing, pretending to be interested in the charity while really just networking and showing off their watches. But you look like you're actually present. Like you're actually feeling something real. And I found that so refreshing that I couldn't not say something.
That is probably the most honest and unusual introduction I have ever received at one of these events. Most men walk up to me and immediately mention my family's company, or ask me how my father is doing, or make some comment about the Harlington legacy. But you just asked me what I was thinking about. That's different. And to answer your question, I was thinking about how beautiful the city looks from up here. All those tiny lights in all those tiny windows, each one representing a person with a story. Some of those stories are happy, some are sad, some are complicated. And from up here, you can't tell the difference. Every light looks the same, small and bright and beautiful. I think there's a lesson in that. We spend so much time trying to make our light bigger, brighter, more impressive than everyone else's. But from a distance, we're all the same. Just small, flickering lights trying not to go out.
That is genuinely one of the most profound things anyone has ever said to me, and I've been to events with Nobel Prize winners. I'm James, by the way. James Carter. And before you ask, no, I'm not a businessman, a socialite, or anyone important. I'm an architect. I design buildings. Specifically, I design affordable housing for underserved communities. My firm has built over 3,000 homes for families who were previously living in substandard conditions. It doesn't make me rich, but it makes me feel like my life has purpose. And at the end of the day, that matters more to me than a fat bank account.
An architect who builds homes for people who need them most. That might be the most attractive job description I've ever heard. I'm Jessica. And I have to be honest with you, James, I've had some very bad experiences with people who were more interested in my money than in me as a person. So I tend to be cautious, guarded, and probably a little skeptical when someone approaches me at an event like this. But something about you feels different. Maybe it's the way you introduced yourself, with curiosity instead of flattery. Maybe it's the fact that you led with your passion for affordable housing instead of asking about my stock portfolio. Or maybe I'm just finally ready to believe that good people still exist. Whatever it is, I'd like to keep talking. If that's okay with you.
Jessica, I would talk to you until every light in this city goes dark, and then keep talking by candlelight. And for what it's worth, I have absolutely no idea who you are beyond the woman standing by the window with the peaceful expression. I didn't recognize your last name, I don't follow business news, and I was dragged to this event by my sister who said I need to get out more. So if you're worried about me being interested in anything other than you, the person, the mind, the soul, you can put that worry to rest. All I see is a woman with kind eyes and a beautiful perspective on city lights. And that's more than enough for me.
Then let's keep talking, James. I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting conversation. It's been 6 months since the night at the Harlington Hotel. 6 months since I stopped being Jessica Cole and became Jessica Harlington again. And in those 6 months, my life has changed in ways I never could have imagined. I stepped into my role at Harlington Industries as Vice President of Operations, and for the first time, I'm using my family's resources not just to build wealth, but to build something meaningful, affordable housing projects, scholarship programs, community centers. I'm making my money matter. As for David, the divorce was finalized 3 months ago. He signed everything without a fight, probably because his lawyer told him he had no fight to make. The civil lawsuit is still pending, but I've decided not to pursue maximum damages. Not because he deserves mercy, but because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I've let it go. Not for him, for me. His mother, Margaret, sent me a handwritten letter of apology. 12 pages, tear-stained, brutally honest. I read it twice, and then I put it away. I haven't responded. Maybe one day I will. Maybe I won't. Karen, I'm told, lost her real estate license after her involvement in the scheme became public knowledge. Karma works in mysterious ways. And James? James is wonderful. We're taking things incredibly slow, and he knows everything, my real identity, my fake identity, my past with David, all of it. He listened to the entire story over coffee one afternoon, and when I finished, he didn't gasp or judge or run. He just said, "Thank you for trusting me with that. Now, do you want to talk about something happier, or do you need more time with this?" And in that single sentence, he showed me more emotional intelligence than David showed in 3 years. I don't know if James is the one. I don't know if our story will have a fairy tale ending. But I know this, he sees me. Not my name, not my money, not my trauma. Me. And for someone who spent 3 years hiding in plain sight, being truly seen is the greatest gift anyone has ever given me. So if you're watching this and you're in a situation where someone is making you feel like you need to be less than you are, less successful, less ambitious, less visible, in order to be loved, stop. Stop shrinking. Stop hiding. Stop dimming your light for people who are threatened by your brightness. The right person won't ask you to be less. The right person will stand beside you and say, "Shine brighter. I'll be right here." Find that person. And if you can't find them yet, be that person for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the most important love story you'll ever live is the one you have with yourself. And mine is just getting started.